Right, so I have a 5th gen battle here, and this is going to be a really fun game. Lately I've been getting a lot of battle requests on 4th and 5th gen, which is really awesome because a lot of people now starting to join my Skype group, and I have the Skype group for 4th and 5th gen players on the new server, and this is one of the many battles that took place, and this was a really fun battle. This was a nice long fun battle that I decided to upload. This is one of the many battles I've had. My opponent brought a really strong team. It was a crazy team once you start seeing it in action. He has really odd sets, but seeing a Gengar makes me happy. Seeing a Jirachi makes me unhappy. I hate 4th gen and 5th gen Jirachi. I can't stand it. I've lost too many games to it. Don't matter how many counters I have, I've just lost too many games due to hacks. My team is a dual weather team. All my team can do good in rain and sand. Polito is going to be the rain, obviously. Tyranitar comes late game, sets up sand. The intention of my team is to set up rain, then set up hazards, and then later apply pressure with the sand. A lot of people bring sand teams and they just fail. They get killed in their own sand whilst setting up hazards. So this is just a really fun team I enjoy using. I'm going to set up the rain straight away, and I don't want to take a Thunder Wave or Toxic, so I go into something that I know can take it. He does have Toxic, which is amazing to know. He goes for a Seismic Toss, so now I know that's his attack move. He'll take Iron Barbs, which is fine because you get Elite Shield off on a Chansey and you're pretty much good out here for days. You can just absorb that bitch all day. That thing is just a health. It's like Elite Seed in a Pokemon Center. It's just freaking good. Alright, this guy doesn't like what I've just done, so he's just gonna switch out and he's gonna go into this thing, and I'm just gonna set up one layer of spikes. As long as I get rid of the 2 Pokemon who seem to have Levitate, spikes should be good. He goes for Fire Punch, and that just threw me off. Like, what the hell? I've never seen a Fire Punch on these things. I rarely see that. He takes Life Orb damage, so this tells me he's a Sheer Force set, and that explains he's probably running all 3 punching moves: Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, etc. So I'm going to scout a bit here. I go into this thing to get Intimidate, and I'm hoping he's not going to go for the Ice Punch this turn. He actually goes for the Thunder Punch, which tells me he was predicting the Politoed to come in. That's fine with me. I'm going to U-turn out of it. I'm not going to show him my set yet, so I want him to think I'm choiced or something. I go into this guy because I know this guy can take all 3 of them, and he can take his stab move very well. I'm going to set up a bulk up because in the rain I'm going to be taking so much recovery with my dry skin. I'm going to abuse that while I can. I'm going to set up sub just so I can see all his moves. He definitely is all 3 punching moves because he's probably abusing the fact that he has Sheer Force ability. Man, I don't usually see that. I usually see the Guts set, but this is good for me because this means later if I want to I can poison it and stuff. I'm gonna go for a bulk up, and he's gonna go for Ice Punch, I think he's trying to get a freeze or something. I'm pretty sure he's scouting for hacks. I'm gonna go ahead and just attack it, I think this turn, or no, sorry, I do sub. I remember this wasn't a turn. This is the turn I'm still scouting because I don't trust these things. Once they reveal an odd move, that's it. I just don't trust the whole set until. He goes for the Drain Punch, which was a bad move because now I have a free sub. I'm going to go for the Drain Punch because, you know, why not? I'm behind the sub, I'm looking good. He brings his Scizor in, sorry. I remember this play now. He brought the Scizor in and I Drain Punched it and just took so much health back. And for some reason after his Scizor took all the damage, now he goes into Gengar. I wasn't too sure in the play, but I honestly thought he was going to let this thing die. He turns out he doesn't want to let it die. He goes into Gengar. I'm like, alright, well, you know, I'm still behind the subs, so you can break it. He goes for Psychic, which is just like crazy. Like, who does that? What Gengar runs Psychic? This guy has odd sets. I don't even know how to comment. I go for Ice Punch. And I do get a 1-hit KO because it does become a crit. Yeah, this was the crit turn. I'm pretty sure it didn't matter because of the fact I'm at +1 and Gengar is just crap at taking physical moves. I'm not too sure if it mattered, but I didn't actually run a calc on it, so sorry if it did matter. I know the Will-O-Wisp is coming. This is the best thing. I thought I'll go into this thing, take the Will-O-Wisp and go for a Choice Specs Draco. But I thought the Choice Specs Draco is too obvious. He'll switch into Chansey. So I go for the Focus Blast. Choice Specs Focus Blast does a ton of damage, but for some reason he didn't switch out right away. He went for the Volt Switch, which means he could have accidentally lost this thing if he didn't know my set. He's going to go into this thing, which I was questioning because a Choice Specs Focus Blast is going to kill this thing. But I miss and it pays off for him, so that's just great, isn't it? If I did connect, that would have killed it right off the bat because this thing has got really bad special defense if I am correct. So yeah, that's my dragon gone, and I'm like, alright, well, I'm going to get an Intimidate here. And I think he thought I was going to attack him, because I'm pretty sure this is that turn I go into Pharaoh again on the Ice Punch. Or I think this is the turn he predicted that, because there was a turn he actually did a very well times prediction. Yeah, this is the Thunder Punch turn. He went for Thunder Punch on my Landorus, which confuses me, but he must have been so sure I was going to switch out. I think that turn he also thought I was going into Politoed. I didn't go into Politoed, I'm just going to stay in with this thing, but now I'm going to do a double switch, because obviously I don't want to take a Drain Punch. I go into this thing, get the Intimidate. He goes for the Drain Punch, but I'm pretty sure he's at -2 now, if I am correct. He's trying to get, you know, he's losing more health than he's gaining health, so he's going to end up switching out here, that much is obvious. I think I played a U-turn, because I know the switch out is coming. And I could have gone for the Earthquake, but he still has the Rotom, I didn't trust the Rotom. So I'll go for the U-turn, and this U-turn does quite a decent amount of damage on a Chansey, considering Chansey does have Eviolite. I'll go into my Pharaoh. I'm planning on Leech Seeding something here, because I couldn't heal this before, now I can. He goes for Soft Boil, which is just like, what the hell? Seriously? So you have Soft Boil and you have Wish. I'm pretty sure he revealed the Wish. So I'm just gonna drain it anyway. I'm just, you know, this guy has 2 healing moves. This guy knows how to keep his team at max. Yeah, so this thing is gonna, he wishes now. He first he soft boils and now he's gonna wish into something. So I'm just like, oh well, I know for a fact that I can't actually do any damage to anything, and I wasted a turn there going for a Leech Seed when he didn't even switch out. So now I know he's gonna switch out. So I do go for the Leech Seed one more time. This thing, he manages to save this thing and get it back to full HP, which is even worse for me because now I have to spend more time trying to get rid of it. And he's just, you know, this guy is just, he's not going easy. He's keeping his team, like he's surviving here. He knows how to survive in the world. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and switch out because I'm just like, oh, well, this is great. I go into Politoed because I know he will go for the Ice Punch, predicting the Landorus. Politoed's fine because at this point I'm thinking, well, seeing you don't have guts, I'll like to get a nice Toxic off, and I didn't want him to know I had Toxic, but he does have 2 Steel types, which is a really big pain right now. He goes into Rotom, which would have been amazing. I could have got a nice Toxic off on this Rotom, but I missed. And he goes for the Pain Split. Now, I did not think he was going to stay in. I thought he was going to go straight for that Volt Switch and get out of here. So I actually went for the Scald, trying to get burned. I hoped anyway this thing would get burned, because if I can burn this thing later on, Leech Seed damage plus Sand damage will do a lot on this thing, because this is the only thing that's not taking Spike damage, which is annoying me. He goes for the Volt Switch. Now, Rotom is just pretty cool in Gen 5. It's got such a great moveset after it got Volt Switch. He does a ton of damage. I'm not even going to comment on how much damage that just did. He goes into this thing, and I'm predicting he's going to wish or something, but here's where I apply the pressure on him now. I knew he would bring it in to take a Toxic, which is fine, because he does not have leftovers, and that's the problem with running Eviolite. Even when I bring Sand in later, he's going to have to take Sand damage. He can't, you know, he can't keep healing. He goes for the Seismic Toss, which was a really big mistake, because now the idea here was I was going to apply pressure by setting up a sub and setting up again, because he's now going to take Toxic damage, and every time he comes in he's going to take Spike damage. He doesn't like that, so he switches out. He gets rid of Toxic, which is good news, fine, but he just gave me a free sub, and I thought maybe I would Drain Punch whatever comes in, but I wasn't too sure how much HP everything has on his team. He brings Jirachi in, and Jirachi starts healing with leftovers, which means that's good. That's good. That's really good, because now I know it's not a choice set. I hate coming up against Jirachi. I just can't stand it. Drain Punch here barely does anything, so this tells me maybe it's a really bulky Jirachi, but it's still good enough to outspeed me. Iron Head is all I've seen so far. Iron Head is, you know, standard. Every Jirachi has Iron Head, pretty much. I don't know what to do when I see them. I'm going to go into this thing, hoping this thing can wall it. Now, I'm going to Leech Seed it, because the worst it can do is Fire Punch me. What else can it do other than Fire Punch? And I'm thinking I'm in the range, so I won't take much from Fire Punch. He goes for Wish, which is like, what the hell? You have 2 Wish users on your team. He doesn't have Hazards, he doesn't have Spinner, but he has 2 Wish users. But this guy is all about, he is all about keeping his team at max HP. This is how this guy plays. I got the leech seed off, which is fine, because even if he did fire punch me and he burns me, worst case scenario he burns me, that means every time that Rotom wants to will-o-wisp something, I can just play this thing. Instead, I go for the spike because I can't really attack it. I can't do much. I don't know what he's going to switch into. Spikes is the best play, and he used these Jirachi to heal his Chansey, which makes me laugh because his wish team is just working well for him. I'm just going to abuse hazards more. The Rotom's the only thing that's just bugging me, so I'm going to switch out into this thing because I know he can't touch this thing. He has Toxic. Now he's going to wish again. He's just recovering everything. This is this guy's strategy. He goes into this thing, so I'm just like, okay, well, standard. I do go for the Drain Punch this turn because I didn't want something taking a wish, but unfortunately that's not enough. Now I think this was the play that I knew what he was going to do. I set up a bulk up. There's no point in setting up a sub because he probably thinks I'm going to set up a sub. Now this next turn, I assumed he thought I was going to attack or set up a sub on this turn coming up. So I thought, why don't I be cheeky and set up 2 bulk ups? Because after I set up 2, I can Drain Punch his whole team. The worst thing that can happen is he brings his Rotom in, and he brings his Rotom in, and that's just annoying. Because now I'm at +2 and I'm looking so good. But at Will-O-Wisp, I am not risking that shit. That Will-O-Wisp is going to be a pain. Stupid Rotom sets. Anyway, Politoed's the best switch right here. Politoed's the only thing that can take a Will-O-Wisp quite nicely. So, Politoed takes the Will-O-Wisp, he actually misses, which tells me I could have stayed in if I had the balls. Long story short, I'm going to go ahead and Toxic this thing because I know I can die from Volt Switch, but he probably thinks I was going to switch out into either Pharaoh or Lando. I took the bluff, my poker face was on, and I stayed in. And basically, I get a poison off on this thing, which is amazing because this is the only thing that's not taking spike damage. Later on, I can stall this thing with my Pharaoh. Even if he burns my Pharaoh, he can take leech seed damage from it, take poison damage, and later on the sand damage is just going to destroy it. Here, I let Politoed die because it was the best play. I was thinking there's so many things I can switch into. I can switch into Pharaoh, I can switch into Landorus. The best play was to just let it die, because if I did switch into Pharaoh or whatever, I'm risking crits, I'm risking hacks. So even if I did switch, he'll just Volt Switch into something that can counter it. So the best thing to do was to let him kill Poly, let him put something in, and then let me put something that can counter that thing. So that was the plan. So what happens here is he brings the Chansey in, and I just go straight for that Drain Punch. I'm not even hesitating anymore. I Drain Punch it. He switches out, and I forgot that I've seen this guy's moveset. I honestly thought he was going to protect. And I thought, there's no point trying to Drain Punch it, because purely the fact that if I try Drain Punching and he protects, you get a free wish. So if I sub, if he stays in and protects, I get a free sub. If he switches out, I get sub. Long story short, his Scizor managed to recover back to full HP, which is just annoying because everything's recovering. He sets up a Swords Dance because I've already seen that leftovers he was running, which is fine. So now it's like, you know, he's now +2. I'm like +1, I think. So I'm just gonna go for a Drain Punch, see how much it does. Alright, sorry, I set up the +1 here. I forgot Bullet Punch always goes first, god damn it. I set up the +1 here, he goes for the Bullet Punch, so I'm thinking I need to take a Bullet Punch even at +2. I take that very well. I can't believe how well I took that. Drain Punch does a crap ton, and I'm thinking here I can kill it, or I can set up another sub if he tries that whole switch out thing. Maybe he switches out this turn into something else like Rotom. So I go for the sub, and he goes for the Roost, and I'm like, oh, well, god damn it. I should have saw that one coming. He is a Swords Dance set. So, behind the sub, +1, he's +2. We pretty much, it's a standoff. Something's gonna die here. Either he Scizor dies, or he lets something else die. So either way, I shouldn't be subbing. I should just kill something, because something is dead. Something's gonna die. So, he pretty much does that, and I'm just gonna finish this thing off. I'm just gonna keep attacking it until it dies. That's the best play here. What I want to do is I want to get rid of those steel types at some point, and then once they're done, the Rotom's pretty much the main threat. I don't think the Chansey can actually come back in. If I'm correct, I've set up too much hazards, and he switched out because that Chansey was poisoned before. So I'm going to go for the Drain Punch, and I'm just going to get as much recovery as I can, abusing the rain. I'm not ready to set up the sand yet. I'm planning on doing that later, because that Rotom is poisoned, which is great. The Conkeldurr is life orbed, which is even better, and Chansey can't come in. Obviously he's going to put this thing in. I'm going to go into this thing to take a burn, because this is the best thing to take a burn right now, looking at my team. Everything is physical, but this isn't an offensive Pokemon, this is a hazard Pokemon. So here I'm just like, well, your two moves are Hydro Pump and Volt Switch. I know that much. I know it's going to be Hydro Pump, it has to be. Hydro Pump and Volt Switch can't do anything to my Pharaoh, and I can Leech Seed you out for days. So I'm going to go for the Leech Seed anyway, just to see what happens. I can't attack now that I'm burned, so I'm just going to Leech Seed, apply some pressure with the hazards. He's going to go into Jirachi. So I'm going to now take this chance, because I actually wanted him to go into Jirachi. That was the whole idea, because his Jirachi, as far as I'm concerned, has just showed me the Iron Head, Wish and Protect. So I'm going to go into Landorus, and I'm going to get an Intimidate. And on top of that, I now get my chance to set up rocks, because now I want that Rotom to start taking rock damage, and I want to guarantee that Chansey cannot come back in. If that Chansey can come in, then I'm pretty much screwed. So Rotom needs to take rock damage. Chansey just doesn't. I just don't want it coming back in, and everything else I would like to die anyway. This turn I know he's going for the Protect. He hasn't revealed it yet, but I knew he would because he's a Wish set. I go for the Stealth Rock. Pretty cool. And now, even though he heals, I've got full hazards. Here, I thought there's no mucking around. He's seen me U-turn every single turn. So I just thought, whatever, I've got no reason to over-predict. I'm going to go for Earthquake. If he does go into Rotom, then I can just jump straight into Pharaoh. He can't touch Pharaoh. He can't burn it. He can't damage it, pretty much. He's useless against Pharaoh. I just went for the clean off the bat Earthquake, killed that thing. Here, I could have gone for the Earthquake, and I don't know why I didn't. But I thought, do you know what, I can go into Pharaoh and double back into Landorus and sack Landorus, because the idea here was to just sack Landorus. I'll explain why in a minute. Long story short, he predicted that. He did a very good prediction. He kills my Pharaoh here, and that was an amazing prediction. Because the idea was now Landorus killed the Jirachi, so Landorus actually has no purpose anymore. Landorus is useless for the rest of this battle. I have no purpose for it. I didn't want to use it anymore. But I was a bit cocky. I tried doing a double switch. He predicted that. The thing is, I want the Pharaoh to stall out the Rotom, but I don't want the Landorus. But that's fine, because I have an idea here. The idea is that I get rid of this thing. One-on-one I know I can take this thing. I can Drain Punch it for days. If he wants to do some odd play like sack the Chansey due to hazards and then switch into Rotom, he can do it, because once that Rotom is in, the only two attack moves that Rotom has is Hydro Pump and Volt Switch. Landorus is immune to Volt Switch. Toxicroak is immune to Hydro Pump. So if I play my plays right, I can stall it out. On top of that, even if he does burn my Toxicroak has sub. So he can't Pain Split for a sub, and toxic damage is going to rack up really badly. It looks like he's just going to sack this thing. The thing lives on like 2 HP. It's fine. I still got Tyranitar. My Tyranitar is Choice Scarfed, I should mention that. So it'll come in Choice Scarfed and outspeed everything on his team and get whatever Stone Edge or Crunch Sweep. It's cool. So I have that in the back, like waiting in the back wings. Pretty much this thing dies. I Drain Punched it just for HP anyway. I just want to get a full HP because I know now he's going to bring the Rotom in. And I wanted to take the burn. I thought, you know what, it's fine, I'll take the burn. He actually misses, which is just even better for me. But once I'm behind the sub, he can't do anything. He can Volt Switch into Chansey, which would just die. Or he can, you know, I think he just gave up here, because even if he Volt Switched into Chansey, he could have came in and tried to Will-O-Wisp me again. That's if the Volt Switch breaks the sub. I'm pretty sure it does. He just went for the Hydro Pump. I know his last move was Hydro Pump. He knows he's lost here. I still had Sand, which I didn't even get to use this match, which is unfortunate. It's like the second time I had Tyranitar as my 6th Pokemon and I never got to use it. But pretty much that is the game. This game was really fun. I had a lot of games like this, but I think this one was just cool because I like the fact this guy was original enough to make up some odd sets. Especially like Chansey. Yes, Chansey has Wish and Soft Boil, which means it's just the ultimate stall Pokemon. You poison something and you just put them together. It's freaking awesome. Anyway, that was a good game. Hope you all enjoyed. Take care.